Come to your tables respectively. Then the next topic that we have after captains is relationships. All right. I'll explain later. All right. So, are we ready? All right. Five, four, three, two, one. So, what's up, guys? So, this is the first round of questions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to each table who has appointed a captain to talk about how they feel about education and things that can be solved. Shout out to my man Saeed right here. He can actually do something about it because he's a commissioner. But right now, I'm going to pass the mic off to this lady right here. What conclusion did you come to?
Our group, you see our lovely group, we came to the conclusion that education starts at home. Oh, I'm looking at Lou. I thought he was saying something to me. Sorry. Education starts at home. A lot of our children lack coping skills. Basically, in classes today, you are in there, the kids come in, but you also see a bunch of adults in the room because they all have like one-on-ones. I think that's the phrase that they use right now. So it's a lot of redirection. So it's no longer coming into the room and saying, good morning, class, and everybody sitting and following rules. It's a lot of distractions. So initially we said, it starts at home, but we also know that we need to work as a home and school community, like connect, where the parents or families need to be welcomed in the school and feel safe coming in and working with the teachers and staff as community. The children can see community in the building, knowing that my parents are working with the teachers and other school staff, so I better do my best or speak up if I'm not doing my best. So when the parents have the relationship with the school, they can talk about what may be going on at home or what issues they need help with, so that the children can be better learners. Is that everything?
And we and we also talked about the importance of not only professional development but personal development, because when you have issues at home in your personal life, it can come into the workplace. So a lot of times it's emphasized that teachers get professional development and learn about their craft. However, there's a lack of self-care. Due to the abuse that you take in the profession on a daily basis, it's important to take care of yourself. See a therapist, have a coach, somebody that just give you a whole different perspective and how to deal with your daily problems.
That's what's up. Yeah, y'all put some effort into that. It helps if you actually are a teacher. So actually, I'm gonna make my way to the other side of the room because they still getting warmed up. But being an entrepreneur, you have to know how to think on your feet. Absolutely. All right, who's the captain of this table? Miss Jack. So just to reiterate, the question on the floor was what can we do to improve education in the tri-state area and the different things that are going on. What are some like remedies? Like is college still necessary? Are trades the thing? But by the time when people go to a bunch of trades and trades won't be good anymore because they got some future stuff with robots. All this type of stuff. What's up with the education? Do we have enough teachers? How come the teachers are underpaid? But this table is going to talk about what we can do in the tri-state area to improve education.
Hi, thank you so much for coming to us. Sorry we couldn't hear the other tables to hear their ideas, but our table pretty much came up with a couple of things. So the first thing we wanted to do is, I'm just looking at my notes here, is to help improve the self-esteem and the self-confidence of our kids. And through that, we'll be providing quality education and also including or reincorporating some of those electives that our students once had, such as home ec, woodshop. But we also want to include some more electives that we think are life skill appropriate and also just appropriate for their next stages of life, such as financial literacy, teaching them maybe how to file taxes and how to live outside of school, because a lot of us are first generation high school graduates, first generation college students, and a lot of our kids when they graduate don't know how to complete those next steps, maybe the FAFSA or the other things that you need in order to move forward. So we want to make sure that we're giving our kids a good quality education, similar to what the suburban kids get, because we feel like our kids deserve that as well. However, we want ours to be more tailored to our students. Although we love uniforms and we love the things that our schools have, we want our kids to also be able to embrace their own creativity, their own style, because us as a culture, I think that we are incredibly dope and our creativity is second to none, and we don't want to stifle that. We want to empower our kids to be strong, confident, self-aware, self-assured. So some of the ways to do that, in addition to providing the electives and also making sure that we have good quality teachers, we want to make sure that we actually have safe and healthy school buildings with proper ventilation, proper heat in the winter and air in the summer, because our kids deserve that as well. And I guess we'll top that off with just making sure that our kids get good food, because some of them, that's their only meal of the day. It is getting loud, so I'm going to stop so you, because I don't want you to miss it, and also I want you to be able to get to the next tables. But to just summarize it all, we want our kids to have the things that other students get here in Philadelphia, because they deserve it. They deserve quality care, quality education, quality food, quality staff who are not burnt out, underpaid, overworked. They deserve people who will show up to school every day ready and willing to serve them. Not because it's a job, but because it's a pleasure to do so. And I think by doing that, we can make sure that we make changes from the top down, also from the bottom up, making sure that we empower the parents, we give them the strength and the courage they need to raise good, strong students. Because some of them don't know what they're doing, but we want to just make sure we love on them, let them know that they're not alone. We are a village, we are a community, and we just got to make sure that we're just not leaving them to figure it all out on their own. So that's it. Thank you. Amen.
Thank you very much. That was real elaborative, and I like the part how she said everybody deserves a quality education. Some of you may know about what's going on from the White House regarding education cuts and so forth, but that's why we're having stuff like this. We are the people, we gotta say, we built this country. Yes, I'm gonna say it. We built this country, and we are going to basically keep on doing our thing here. And we have another table captain right here, lady in red. All right, hold on. Okay. So right now we got Ms. CJ, this group's table captain. Just to reiterate, what can we do in the tri-state area to improve education? And you can just elaborate your thought. Oh, you got notes? She took your notes.
Hi, how are you? So we were challenged with the topic of what can we do to improve education, and we came up with some bullet points. So parenting classes. Parenting has turned into a epidemic, and it's trial and error. There's so many things that parenting skills look like that I feel as an educator a lot of parents aren't really doing. So parenting class was the top of our list, not that it was listed in any order. The next is skill set, like a trade. Trades are cosmetology, plumbing, nail tech, mechanics, culinary arts. Those are different things. We also have sewing, we have carpentry, anything where you're able to do a skill that you may not want to go to college and you may not want to go into the service. And then we have something that is called foundations. So the foundations are the basics. So we have reading, we have writing, we have the arithmetic, and we're also talking about phonics. So a group member also talked about in foundation, there is no technology until 9th grade. So we have schools like the Waldorf School, which is Ken Weinstein, which I don't know if the average person in Philly knows. He was the owner of the Trolley Car Diner. So if you do your homework on Ken Weinstein, he is a conglomerate of real estate who's making some changes in Philly. So back to the subject, character building classes, where we're talking about what does character look like. If I have character, that means I'm going to be loyal. I'm going to be trustworthy. I'm going to love. I'm going to be kind. I'm going to be doing so many things that I find in the children today, as I'm a special ed teacher, but just in the school of Roosevelt and maybe Global Leadership Academy Charter School. Those are the two schools I've worked for in Philly. The character of the child, it's not there. And character was something that was built, for example, in a gym class, just playing against one another. And when I kick your butt, or I get my butt kicked, what do we do at the end? we say good job. We don't really do that, in my opinion, when it comes to much of anything in terms of character. And then we're talking about determine how a child learns. We have children that are auditory, they are visual, they're kinesthetic. So how does that child learn? And that's how we can start to build that education. And then finally, we added restrict the use of technology. I personally wanted to have a law where you're not allowed to have a smartphone until you turn 21. As an adult, I may not be able to handle the smartphone. So if you have children, and for example, the child learned a new word today, and I'm going to just be frank and say the word sex or the word porn, and they put it in their phone and they see all of what it looks like, those children can be or become something as a result of a word, as we are not monitoring what children are doing as adults. So monitoring the technology, the list that we shared, we're hoping that one day before we go to glory, that we are going to be able to change education, not back to the way it was when we went to school, but where we are now in this time of space. Thank you.
So now we actually have a youth in the building, and we're going to make our way over to the young man. Just step forward real quick. So we're going to make our way over to him, and I'm just going to reiterate the topic so he'll be ready. You ready?